just like being on the board.
What's that?
Being on the board. What a deal. So I guess the camera's rolling, that event is over.
Go put one on the Oliveri Street, those 12 children running up and down.
That is great.
Did I see children
Street.
rushing, did I see children sweeping your street today?
Yes, we got, the second we got home
Cleaning the
today,
gutters.
we, well, there was garbage, all the recycle stuff was out and it floated. So we went out and got 3 garbage bags of just wet paper.
Oh, yeah.
For half the cul-de-sac we did, and then the kids went out and swept out all the gutters.
Our street was like filled with water. I mean, it was like, you know,
Nice agenda,
coming
Tom.
up.
Yeah, ours was
And
past the
somebody
mailboxes too.
basically went out there and found that all of the storm drains had been got clogged with like recycling bins and railroad ties from people's landscaping and all the stuff that floated down
That
there.
doesn't normally happen to you guys?
That always happens to us, cause our 2 drains are right in the middle of the
Well, we
cul-de-sac.
don't, you know, when you get a rain like that,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, I actually went out and took pictures because it was up past the fire hydrant, it was past the stop sign.
Yeah, yeah, I
It was
guess
I
too.
was all
And then Cecilia went and she cleared all that stuff out and she said it was like a giant sucking sound just going down the street.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
completely
It's
blocked.
fast too.
Well, I tell you what, I actually looked out there to see if there was a problem, but who can sit, where's the pavement? I don't even know, because it was, we've had cars drive into that and not come out again. I mean, you know, where it's like
That's
up
actually-
halfway to the windows and,
That's mine.
Oh, that's
I
yours.
gave you one.
Well,
but where it
Oh, you
came,
passed one around.
That's
That's
fine.
fine.
we're moving on to the radio now.
Alright, well, have a good
All right,
one.
John.
You're welcome to
Thanks
sit
for
down.
coming.
You're welcome to hang out.
Yeah, if you don't mind,
Thanks,
I didn't know
Doug.
if this was closed or not.
Yeah, no.
no, this is
We
just.
are
Yes.
very.
Well, here you go, this is, hand me that agenda and take that step right there. And then, do you see if you have that page? I think you do.
Okay, so there's an agenda.
There will be some sensitive information we'll talk about, so you will need to, you'll need to slice your finger open and then blood that with Mike, so that
Alright, well,
You know.
we're on TV, so.
we're on TV. Okay. So,
Is there water or something?
yeah, look at
Yeah,
that
just
refrigerator.
help yourself to anything in there.
Chances are good there's even a beer.
Yeah, there is.
Or 10.
Might have one myself.
Well, not while we're on TV though. Pay
What?
for it.
No, while we're on TV.
No beer feet, no beers.
No, beer while we're on TV.
Okay, so,
There's a brown paper bag.
I move to dispense with the reading of the minutes from the previous meeting as they've been posted to the website. And we've all had a chance to review unless there's any changes to those minutes.
Second?
Any objections? No objections? So moved. Great. So we've got the first set of financials in from Best Fit Solutions. And that is the 3-page document that I gave you, which would have been the last 3 pages that I gave you.
Alright,
So,
so this is kind of the wrap up for 2011.
no, this is 2012.
Huh?
Oh, yes, yeah, this was December. My
December,
mistake.
so the year to date is basically the whole year.
Right. So one of the things, and I think we talked a little bit about this, but again, I just kind of want to make sure on some stuff. You know, going forward in 2012, we do have the budget numbers in place for Best Fit Solutions based on what we presented at the board. So we'll be able to actually have you know, some real-time comparison as we move forward on some things. You know, by and large, we did pretty well. We came in pretty well on our numbers, barring 2 significant expenses, one of which was offset by an insurance check that we received late, which was good. One of the things I just wanted to really point out to you on page 2, bottom of page 1 and top of page 2, is we added some new accounts to break out some things so we can try to track some stuff a little bit better. I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page, and if we want to take this one step further, then let's do it while we're in January. Administration and accounting fees, that was always there. HO legal fees, that's a new ledger entry for us, so we can track our legal fees as it relates to collections.
So we always had a budget item for legal fees, right?
We may have had a budget line, but I don't think we had it broken out because I think they were all kind of lumped into one.
So it was all going under
Yeah.
administration.
I think they were all going under administration, but these will be legal fees for sure that we know.
It's two different legal fees.
Right, and then
General and
you've got the
association.
legal fees that we might, for what we would pay to Mark, and then our association legal fees would be for collections. Is how that'll be broken up there.
Well,
and as-
that could be labeled a little better than, I mean, it's not HO, what's HO?
Homeowners,
Homeowner legal fees, which is,
everyday stuff that we would do for Mark. Because there's sometimes we have legal fees that Mark has to read something, but we involve Mark quite a bit this year in terms of collecting our money, processing
So that's
liens,
the
things of
second
that
one, the
nature.
second one's for collections?
Yeah,
the second one is for collections, but in theory, we should get all that money back.
in
So-
theory, that's correct,
Do
we
you
should get
think
all
we
that
could
money back.
change it from association to collections?
Sure, absolutely. That's why I've passed this out to y'all. Website, newsletter, printing postage, landscaping and grounds maintenance. Now, we're not budgeting anything for the beautification in 2012 going forward. So, for 2012, do we want to actually remove that beautification expense entry since it's all going to come under landscaping and ground maintenance?
Yeah, absolutely, remove it, because there's no budget line
It's,
for it.
yeah, it's covered by
It's a
Texas
new thing.
Tropical.
Okay, good, good. All right, the irrigation repairs, installation, in water, we're actually breaking out the water in 2012. It's gonna have its own entry coming from the city of Houston.
Is irrigation repairs at $500, is that worth tracking?
So what's the house?
I mean, what do we learn?
Well,
from it?
I think it was all just kinda lumped in underwater as one. I can't remember what we sent to Jessica for 2012,
So there's
so,
not a water,
no, there's not one here, isn't, but in 2012, we do have our own water entries.
okay, water's big, yeah.
Yeah, because water is
Well,
big.
we have the water broken out for 2012, right?
Right. Insurance is insurance, you know, that's just kind of a one-time deal. General maintenance and repairs and clubhouse repairs, we did make a change for 2012, I can't remember what we did on that. Can't remember if we rolled clubhouse into that, but I think I've got it on my spreadsheet, I can,
So, I mean, in terms of budget versus actual, I mean, you know, we kind of like are 4 times what we budgeted, so was the budget, I mean, did we just have extreme expenses, or did we just not categorize things?
on which one?
General maintenance and repairs, we budgeted 2,500, we spent 10 grand.
That 2,500 is just a number that's been carried over from year over year, put in place. But we had the air conditioning repair, and we had the
Right.
electric panel repair.
Okay, so that all went in there.
That all went in there.
So next year on that surplus.
Potentially, right, absolutely. So that's how, you know, that you account for that.
Okay, then we have clubhouse maintenance, we
Right, and
budgeted,
why were there 2 entries ever created, I don't know. And that was one of the things I think we were doing in 2012, was consolidating that all into one.
okay, good.
Because as a rule, we don't really have clubhouse maintenance on a regular basis. They're usually one-time deals. Even when we have it cleaned throughout the summer, you know, that's only $300 during the summer.
What what was the 568 we spent on that thing?
560, I don't know.
Well, the actual
Clubhouse
was
maintenance.
568, and then was that cleaning?
I
Was
don't know.
that-
We'd have to go pull them all.
Alright,
That could have been over the course of the year.
it's no biggie, it's just $568.
Yeah. You know, mosquito fogging, it is what it is, it stays the same. General utilities, again, you know, one of the things that we're wanting to do in 2012 is get away from things like general utilities. We're trying to be very specific in terms of what we're doing.
Water.
Right, that's why we have the electricity broken out for Turkey Creek and Thorn Branch going forward. We'll also have the water broken out as much as we possibly can. And if I can get Jessica to list all 11 water meter bills, I'm gonna have her do that. I think they're 11, there might be 13, I think they're 11.
This bunch.
I mean, is the goal here showing that there's parity between expenses?
No, I think it's understanding where we're spending our money on water and how and why,
Otherwise, it's
because,
just going down the drain.
right, that's really where it is specifically, yeah, I
Say
mean,
with a straight face.
that's,
Yeah,
I think
that's the
there,
scary part.
because I still submit to you, we have a leak out here that's costing us money.
It's not costing us money.
I know Bob says it's not, but I submit to you that it is.
Well, the bills will show it.
And so I haven't gone and pulled all those
Well,
bills.
that's the scuffle between us and the city, right?
Yeah,
Well, there's no scuffle.
It's all been measured out and,
It's the, when we turn off the,
Meter,
water, no, when we turn off our supply,
the meter doesn't spin.
right? So,
it's not our leak.
exactly.
We don't know where it is, but
Well,
they're not charging us for it.
right.
That's the important thing.
Well, we told them about it, they're aware of it, they can fix it when they're ready.
But, you know, we definitely wanna, one of the other things that, obviously, when we go into, water conservation, I mean, clearly, our water bills didn't really change a whole lot, but one of the things, I think, if we start breaking out all of our water and understanding where it goes, it can tell us if we're just wasting too much money watering.
Yeah, and where
Because if you're over, where more importantly, that's really the key thing,
sprinklers
is,
were going yesterday from you.
yeah,
right.
which tells us that probably the rain, the water sensor doesn't work.
Yeah, the rain sensor, it's supposed to be a rain sensor on
Right, on the
all the
fence.
modern systems.
Don't know if they ever put one in or not.
Or
But that, one of the things is that,
override, maybe it's override.
right, but one of the things that we'll get when Texas Tropical Plants comes in, is they're gonna take that over, and they're gonna manage and monitor all that, so
So
that'd
let's look
be
at the
good.
bills and call up, tell them what the problem is.
So
Right.
we had general utilities and electric and
Right,
water.
again, all very vague, hard to understand, so that's why we're getting away
Okay,
from
very
that.
specific ones.
Right.
Okay, great.
Pool repairs, you know, that's just kind of a number that's best guess carried over year. You don't ever anticipate any pool repairs, but, you know, you blow a bearing, it's gonna happen. Swim team expense is really minimal, you know, it might be, this past year, we had, was it this past year, year before last?
This year.
It was, last year we had some expense on some light repair and stuff like that.
Well, there's nothing
To
budgeted,
build that
just
for the
whatever.
swim team?
No, but see, what I think happened is that when I sent those bills in for repairing the electricity, the light poles and stuff like that, I think Jessica probably put that under general maintenance and repair, she probably didn't code it for the swimming pool.
All those new lights.
And that wouldn't necessarily be a swim team expense per se.
Well, it looks like there's no budget for it, somebody just threw a few bills in there.
Yeah, that $236 is probably for all the wood materials I bet we spent putting the gate in, if I had to guess.
Yeah, but other than that, I can't think of anything.
That would be the only expense that we have.
So we're not gonna carry it forward.
If we have to buy new lane ropes, that would be a swim team expense.
But the swim team.
Swim team pays that.
Oh, does it?
That's
Okay.
apparently Chuck said that's like a $6,000 hickey.
Yeah,
Things are
that's
horribly
expensive.
expensive.
Yeah.
So,
So we're supposed to get that back?
no, the $236 is all
No,
yours.
in general, swim team expenses, it's zero for the budget,
Yeah,
and we hope to get it back.
we'll never get it back.
We just,
We
you know.
invested in a swim team. We invested
Or,
$236.62.
That's gonna be a couple of expenses.
Is there gonna be some team this year?
All of
You
them.
know, to be determined.
If we can find a coach.
We got
If
Coach
don't
Marburger here.
well, they've got a coach.
We don't need a coach, we need a director.
We need a team director.
We need a team director.
What's a director?
That's
Someone's
Chuck.
in charge.
We need a new Chuck.
John, you up for it?
Got Coach Marburger.
Is Amy gonna retire?
Heather.
Pardon?
No. My wife's made it very clear. My wife made it very clear that I'm not gonna be in charge either. I think what's gonna happen is that we're gonna have to have 3 or 4 parents collectively come together and put the team together
Yeah.
and manage it collectively.
That'll work out.
I think that's about the only solution
People
right
who
now.
care the most.
Because no one is really truly interested in doing it. I mean, it'd be great if we could get Mike Koskovic to do it, because he's the swim team coach over at Stratford.
Yeah.
All right.
It would be great, but he's got Anna's in kindergarten, and they got a 2-year-old. And Jennifer works downtown in the medical center.
Near man.
Yeah, so they got time. Anyway,
Yeah, they're busy.
you know,
We're all busy now.
yeah. So just think about those descriptions. If you want to relabel them a little bit, I will have Jessica fax us a new set of the ledger entries just so that we know what they are.
Cool.
Because I do think that as part of our long-term planning for the neighborhood, getting these entries a little more descriptive, so not only us understand,
Actually,
but your 389 residents who show up at your annual meeting can understand as well.
Yeah, the big old miscellaneous expenses there at the bottom.
It's probably toilet paper.
$2,000 worth.
I'll catch a mustard for this.
Okay. So, here is, because we are on TV, I don't want to mention any resident names.
Well, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
But when you look at the aged balances, I gave you what is current, and I gave you previous months so we can assess who came off the list and to see who's continuing to pay and
Did
who's
you
not
hand
paying.
that out?
You know what?
Yeah.
I think I got 2
We
of
got
those.
2 of them.
They must
So,
have stuck together.
the December 31st is the most current list, and as you can see, between December 4th and December 31st, when we put the liens on the houses, we collected a little over $1,100.
So you think it was the liens or the threat of withholding garbage
I think it
collection?
was both, but garbage collection probably drove it more so than anything else.
So how's garbage collection stopped?
It's what you and I are gonna discuss right now.
Right.
So, what I wanted you to see,
Always back
I wanted you to
and
see the people that dropped off and got it resolved. More importantly, if you look at the people on December 31st compared to December 4th, as of today, those people have not made any additional payments, because they did make payments shortly after we sent them the letter about the lien and garbage collection, nor have any of these people taken an opportunity to collect us to make arrangements. And we've offered them arrangements half dozen times this year since the summer. And none of these people have been proactive in. So based on that, I move that we move forward with discontinuing garbage collection services for these 5 folks.
Second.
It's actually 4 folks.
4 folks, 5, yeah, these 4 folks.
And then lose.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
Okay, so we will send them a certified letter tomorrow, and they will get that by Friday. And
We need to, they've already gotten a letter. We told them last month that we were gonna stop
It
it.
wasn't personal to them though. It was.
I think this
Is
is,
that required?
I guess I'm just doing it just so that they know. It's one less hassle we have to deal with when someone calls, you didn't tell me my garbage was getting shut off. This way we know that they have a letter that they have signed for, and it takes all the mud out of the water. It's worth $2.50.
That's stupid.
Fine.
Yeah.
So Jessica will send that out.
Yes, so, service will discontinue effective Monday.
Immediately, just say immediately.
Well,
In case it, you know.
In case it takes,
I could, well,
cause they're gonna try to serve.
Royal will be here
3
Thursday.
times.
Royal will be here
They'll get the
Thursday.
letter on
But
Friday.
you won't get the green card back for, if you're lucky, a week, and unlucky 3 weeks, right?
No, that's what I'm saying, but next week, Monday, they won't get service. Thursday would be their last pickup. And we'll state that in the letter that this particular day, this was your last pickup.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And now, I guess it becomes a question is, what consideration do we take to reinstate their service? Payment in full? Post-dated checks that we cash? You can accept post-dated checks and we can hold them and cash them. Absolutely. Write me 5 checks, $500 a piece, and we'll cash them on those days.
That's a very nice service you're offering there.
I didn't say I was offering, I'm just throwing it out here so we can all discuss it. But what is it that, I mean,
Paid in full, of course, will work.
paid in full works, absolutely, no
Credit
question.
card,
about it.
check, unless it bounces.
It's between them and
You know, yeah.
the Harris County attorney. I mean, that begs the question, it's something we need to be prepared for, you
I
know.
like the post-dated checks idea because you said you've had several people who will pay one payment of a payment agreement and then never show up for the next one.
Right.
Absolutely, absolutely, and homeowner number 2 has made numerous promises to us, including just this past summer, and he burned us. I take full responsibility for that. And so he's done.
Right, no lenience.
He's done.
I think basically it's very simple. I mean, payment in full,
Okay.
fine, no problem. Trash truck will be there right away. All right, payment plan, as long as you stay to that payment plan, and, you know, whether it's post-dated checks or just a commitment or whatever, but as soon as one of those checks bounces or you're off the payment plan,
Sorry.
trash stops.
Right.
Yeah,
No, I don't disagree with
no
that.
extra warning.
I don't-
Just
I don't-
wait. I like that, I
okay.
like that.
Obviously, that payment plan would have to have a deposit up front.
Yep.
First and last month's rent, as Mike would say. Okay, so, but I do think we've really been over backwards for a lot of these folks. I think also as part of the letter that goes out,
We spent a fortune on legal fees.
we spent a fortune on legal fees, and I'll pull a copy of the deed restrictions that let them know that your maintenance fees covers this particular service, just so that they can say that they didn't know. right? Which everybody's always willing to play the I don't know card. But we'll just take those necessary
You know
steps.
what, don't even bother with that, let that, when they come to us and
Right.
start negotiating.
Which they're not
for
going
the-
to.
Well, hopefully they're gonna come to us and negotiate a payment plan or pay or something.
They don't care. They've gotten so many letters, and you know, there's people who are on the fence or missed it. As soon as that letter went out, they took care of it.
Yeah,
Right.
well, I don't know.
It was
just,
all, it's
you know,
$100, $30.
Right,
It's these
absolutely.
people who have a systemic problem with paying their thing, they haven't paid it in 3 years.
Right.
They're the ones that.
And because more importantly, these people are probably not gonna pay 2012.
Right,
That's really what we're
accepted.
down the road. And the mere fact that we only have $5,400 outstanding, it's pretty impressive.
Excellent.
It's pretty impressive of what we've done over the last year to collect money. We've spent money, we've a lot of anguish, but, all right. So that is our plan right there. We will get that taken care of.
So these are the criminal people late.
well, some of those are not
This is
fiddling
late
people.
fee. No, these, the ones that
Especially-
are just paid, this is somebody's late fee, this is,
Especially if you have 2 and 3.
Right, but
Yeah.
like number 5 on that list,
yeah, that was significant, but,
that was significant.
no, I'm saying what's left, they're all significant.
Yeah.
Um,
$600.
keep- Yeah, now, keep in mind that on homeowner number 2, the bankruptcy filing, you know, that's money that we may potentially, we are pursuing it, but from what I understand, he's not bound to pay it, because as a result of the
Well, in that
bankruptcy.
case, you might wanna, I don't know how you wanna write those letters, but we're not holding the garbage for that one, it's for number 3, it's the line.
All he knows is that we want $2,400 from him.
Just tell them.
That's all he knows.
Leave
We
it.
Yeah,
want
yeah.
$2,400.
Don't break it out for them.
It's up to him to come in
It's
and
up to the
discuss
attorney
that.
to figure it out.
Right, absolutely.
Let him figure it
Let
out.
him pay his attorney's fee, paying their trash is a lot cheaper than paying his attorney's fee.
Absolutely.
Good, good.
So I gave everybody, okay, so, we have the opportunity to move forward with Texas Tropical Plants. And I think everybody's got a copy of the contract there. They've got, you know, the last update we made was the insecticide.
We've got it in the grid.
They've got it in the grid, absolutely, which is really the only thing that we wanted. I've read through this thing 3 times. I don't, you know, I ask everybody to take a couple minutes, read through it, see what you like, don't like. If we're all in agreement of it, we'll vote.
It's certainly
We'll execute it.
meeting with them, there's word games and stuff here, I mean,
Right.
they want to
I
do the
thought we
job.
already, had,
Turn them on.
decided on
I think
this.
we announced, but we haven't signed
I
it.
don't, we've not executed a contract with them
Oh, well, what are we waiting for?
tonight, right here, just giving you one last minute to look it over.
I got one question, maybe I'm just ignorant of this, but
Say
it
it's
says
what we're
tree
waiting for right
pruning
here.
as needed under 10 feet, what about over 10 feet?
We gotta call somebody out and do it.
Okay, so we call it service, over 10 feet.
Or do it ourselves. I'm sure they'd probably do it, but they'd probably charge us for it.
They will, they'll charge.
Yeah,
15 cents.
and that's not unreasonable, 10 feet's not
I'm
unreasonable.
just curious if that was standard.
I don't know if it's standard, but I think it's reasonable.
I think in their world of commercial landscaping,
They don't get
because it's a
commercial.
liability, you don't want somebody walking along getting a branch in the eye.
Yeah,
And so they just hack everything below 10 feet.
works for me. You know, so I'm excited about having them come on board. One of the things that we definitely want to do is, I think we do want to actually, you know, have them come out one day and help them, you know, let's try to do some planning like we talked about. You know, what is it that we want to present? How do we want to be portrayed to the outside world in terms of what do we need to update, replace, get rid of, that type of thing. You know, try to give us a vision, a plan. And I'm not saying it'll all go into effect
I
this
think,
year.
and I don't know if it's here, but what I have suggested in the past was, we ask for volunteers to come forth and determine that. And
Right.
then
By March.
since they're volunteers, yeah, if the ball hasn't moved, then we just let these guys handle it. I would love to go all natives, but, you know, until someone can tell us what to do, I can't do that.
Yeah. Okay.
And so at some point, you just gotta jump.
Okay.
So we'll give everyone a year a shot to go. And we've got, further down the agenda, we've got a lot of things to cover.
Right, right. So if there are no, if there's nothing to be changed, or no concerns, no nothing, you know, I move that we execute the contract as presented.
Second.
Yahoo. All in favor?
So moved.
Aye.
Good, and I'll take
Very cool. We are very productive
We got something
tonight.
done.
We did. Okay, so, long-term planning, and there's clearly, I guess it becomes the definition of what long-term planning is. I think this is something that we've talked about amongst ourselves, something that's kind of come as a result of the town hall meetings, but, I think we need to put together, kind of like a 3, 5, 10-year plan for the neighborhood. And I think it's a comprehensive document. I'm not suggesting that it has to be volumes 1 through 8, but I do think we need to try to maybe have some sort of
General goals
objectives, that might be a few pages.
and funding.
And I think that can help transitioning future boards as well, absolutely. Mike makes a good point, it'll help with funding when we go to our annual meetings about, if we're doing a special assessments, or more importantly, trying to get the maintenance fee increased, things of that nature. Look, these are some things that the residents have said, this is kind of where we see we're going. And Bob has made a very good point. We need to really try to at least double our reserves in the next 24 months, if at all possible. That's a pretty big challenge to try to double those reserves in 24 months, but I think within the next 5 years, we need to try to have a financial goal of X somehow, some way. And the only way to obviously achieve that is through special assessments, or the ideal solution is raising the maintenance fee. That's really and I think that's our chief goal for this year, is to really educate the people on trying to do that. So,
Yes, the whole thought is we, do the wish tree, and then the committee is to, get everyone to agree that there is a need there, there's a desire, they want to see the improvements. The next logical step is you got to pay for it.
and the improvements are not necessarily just landscaping and fences. It could be roads, it could be new drains, it could be more trees, it could be, I don't think any of our roads are in disrepair, but you understand it's just not isolated number of things, it could be anything within the neighborhood, is the message I'm trying to convey.
Like a swim up bar,
Absolutely.
Swim up our parking lot.
help
You
out.
know, the brick on the entrances is the brick.
Right. So those types of things.
It's just a matter of taking all those things and
Which,
prioritize.
speaking of that, have you noticed the apartment complex, they're actually doing a lot of work over there. They're replacing rotting wood, they're cutting the fences down to a lower level on the courtyards.
I haven't been inside.
No, I'm like driving by, if you're driving down.
I know I saw the
If you drive down
fences that have been.
Perthshire, they've got lines that say cut on both sides of the street. They're replacing things, so those patios are
I have
bringing it
seen
down.
the roofs, they've been working the roofs,
Roof,
that's what I
they're
noticed.
replacing rotting wood, so that means they're going to paint. They're taking a step forward.
So they're gonna raise rents over there.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too.
That would be
Absolutely.
good.
That's the best way to, yeah.
Yeah, that's how you improve your clientele.
Move them across to Westchester.
Oh, by the way, Westchester did re-sign their precinct 5 contract. So we got a whole new deputy over there and everything.
So,
So do you have the wish tree list?
no, we kept
Or did you
I
take
got it
that?
right here.
Okay.
There's your wish tree.
Is there enough there that we can go out, this next newsletter, tell residents about it, and put forth a committee and start building this?
I think the wish tree is a subset of the projects that need to be prioritized.
Yes.
I mean, we got some new ideas.
Oh, we did, good.
There's some, LED lighting for the pools, tennis courts,
Get the land.
hire
got the
Todd
link for that.
Farberger to be Santa
We
next
do have the
year.
link for tennis.
Fine.
We could get a tennis club.
I spent $100 a year for that.
There'd be a
Pool
lot of
slide,
people
that
who
was
do
you,
that.
Lauren.
There are quite a few people that do play tennis in our
I
neighborhood.
mean, Amy goes twice a week all the way to Memorial Park for her league. I mean,
So if we have 2 courts, it goes to the park. Wow. A lot easier to maintain them.
Well, you could have a park / tennis court. You have to cut down all those trees.
Squash court then.
Kathy
That's
likes
space.
those
Some of the
trees.
trees are coming down.
They're down. We cut down 6 already
where is this?
in the park.
Oh, yeah, that,
We had
we could really do something.
from the drought, and then
Beetles.
what kind of bugs?
Bark
Pine
beetles or
beetles,
yeah.
something.
And they had to take them down, or else they could have literally wiped out the entire area back there.
So there's a lot more open space than there used to be.
And this, there was one tree had to be
The mud.
8, 9 feet around. It's beautiful.
The one
Pine
in the
tree.
very back was probably being watered by the yards of
Yeah,
along there. And when the water restrictions went in,
So Bob, can you type
Maybe
up our wish tree
parking
list
garage first.
and send it out to us?
Sure.
Okay.
So when's our next newsletter blast today?
Well, he was talking about that everything needs to be in on the 11th.
Yeah, I want everything in 2 days, so get writing.
Okay.
Okay.
Got a couple of entries I need to do.
So clearly we start with that, you know, financially, I think we all have kind of in our head what we think a new maintenance fee should be. And I think we all have in our head that we need to go up $100.
It's a good round, easy number.
It's a good round, easy number, absolutely.
The only question would be if we're lucky, you know, it passes and we get the momentum, do we want to ham off ourselves 100 or go for 125 or 150? But
I think what's important is how you phrase the cap.
Well, we,
Because the
you know,
hard money cap sucks.
and that would be the
no,
committee.
no, we're doing away with the cap.
The idea is to try to do away from that, because if we didn't, it limits you. And
Yeah, exactly.
There's no reason to have it.
Then why were we even talking about the $100?
Well, that's where we start.
you got to
So
start at a minimum
We
level.
start, okay, and we're not raising the cap $100. We're raising the assessments $100, so we don't have to nickel and dime you every year. And then we come up with a plan to, you know,
Because probably over the
keep
last,
up with the costs from there.
yeah, over the last 4 or 5 years, you know, we've probably paid on average $100 more, on average,
Yeah, for the assessment.
you know.
So raising it 100 would basically be standing still.
And so, yes, but then at that point, you can say, we've got a budget, we're gonna live in this budget,
Now we
as
can
opposed
actually meet
to,
our budget without
as
coming
opposed to
back
playing
you.
these special
I
assessments.
think you can sell $100. I have no doubt you can sell
Right.
$100.
And it's a derivative of the wish tree list and what the committee of volunteers come up with, this is what we wanna do in Thornwood this year, next year, the following year, and then that justifies it.
I'm telling you, we don't have to sell $100. It's sold itself already.
Right.
What we have to sell is modifying our papers.
Well, yeah, that's really the challenge is, you know, no matter what it is you're selling, you've got to get a majority of homeowners in each section.
But I think if it's
And-
reasonable, I think what we've heard so
Well,
far is most
what
people.
we think is reasonable,
Yeah,
okay,
that's true.
well, Shirley and her supporters think is, you know, after lunch.
Outrageous.
Is not enough.
It's,
She
no,
thought-
it's too much.
She thought $100 was reasonable because that's what she solicited.
Right, but she, you know, they're gonna stick their heels in and say, well, it's all for all sections and all the money's gonna get spent in 2 and 3 and yada yada.
Well, I think what we're
And
gonna
so
get
That's why we're
I think,
putting
I
together
think
a
section
plan.
4 is gonna be the toughest nut to crack.
always.
Well, they're gonna be.
Now, wait a second, what about your tiny little section over there?
I got that. I can hit.
Right. And that's
They all
all,
love me.
and it's clear, it's gonna have to be a, you know, 6 or 7 month campaign to educate our folks, and we really need to have all of our ducks in a row, you know, and,
So are we
and,
gonna-
you know, for lack of better words, you gotta almost go Ross Perot with
But-
your presentation
But
and have all your
if
flip
you
charts.
show everyone what they're going to get,
Correct,
then I think
absolutely,
it's-
that's absolutely correct.
And in the end, I think what the November meeting showed is that there's a lot of people agree that things need to be improved.
Yeah.
And so as long, and I think all the things that were presented there
areas
were
where people want
right on.
improvement is not just beautification, but recreation,
right.
facilities,
Many
pools, parking lot,
Entrances,
entrances,
security
The
cameras,
walls.
security cameras now.
security, absolutely, if we
So,
can enhance
I
security.
really think the campaign is gonna be to remove the cap. That's gonna be the hard part, because there's gonna be people on fixed income that are gonna be unhappy.
Yeah, you're talking about removing it, you're talking about rewording a particular, amending the deeds,
That's gonna be.
is what you're talking about doing, is you're talking about your starting fee is X dollars, whatever it is, right? And then, you know, but I think Mike said it best, is that we establish a Thornwood index. Okay, your cost of living in Thornwood is driven by 2 primary things: trash collection and security. Right there, those are your, right? Garbage security cost us, we take in $192,000 a year in whole numbers, and we're gonna spend $80,000 in whole numbers on security, and we're gonna spend, on a net basis, I think $46,000 in garbage.
It's actually,
So when you add those two numbers together, you've got roughly 70K to run a neighborhood.
Have you tried to compare and let people know what comparable neighborhoods in here have? Because you know it's gotta be way more.
No.
no.
Really? It's all over the place.
You know,
Yeah.
because I moved in here from a very middling starter home subdivision in Fort Bend County. And back in '99, it was 600.
Yeah.
And we got nothing, and it was a piece of crap.
There's no doubt that $500 a year is a bargain.
It is.
Especially up here.
Because we looked at some neighborhoods
Yeah. Now,
that
So your
were in
favorite
the
neighborhood,
1,500 a year.
Gateway's the low one, the low
They're
one,
paying $315.
because they got.
They have
no
one
facilities.
entrance,
They
they
have no-
have no pool, no
Right.
clubhouse, they have nothing.
they have no-
And they pay $315, that's
Right.
actually a
And they
ripoff.
pay $315.
where, and when you look
And the
at,
houses are
Yeah,
worth,
two
you know,
entrances.
But a
twice as
comparable
much.
neighborhood.
right, now,
dollar per square
I
foot.
found,
Facilities.
I found this out, Westchester, their homes actually have graduated payments. Not everybody pays the same dollar amount apparently in Westchester.
We
Like
used
they
to
pay a
have that.
percentage of their.
I don't know how it's, I don't know how
It
it's,
used to be by
I don't,
square
I don't know how
footage.
it's calculated there, but I found it out that, you know, some people might pay $275, some people might be paying $375. And you can even, when you look up homes in that area on AJR's website, you won't always find the same fee, over in that area. They have a substantially larger number of homes, and they charge you to be a member of the Westchester Club as well.
I'll tell you what I would do.
So, you know, there's,
County nightmare, which is exciting.
It does
Yeah.
sound
No, it's
like
not.
crap.
It's not. It's just
It's
a
a
different number
formula,
for different.
you just have a
Look,
formula instead of.
Look,
Yeah.
here's what you do, all right?
The committee will.
Now, you know, we're probably 5 or 10 years away from the tear down wave coming past us,
yeah, I think,
all right?
5 years is way early, but I think 10 is very reasonable.
So let's put the work in place, okay? I think there probably isn't a house in Dornwood that's over like, what, 3,400 square feet? Is that probably the maximum?
There's a couple that are 4,000 up off Sabota, I thought.
Really?
Or, Francis, she's got a big house.
There are a couple, I think, that are 4,000 square feet, I thought.
Well, there's somebody who's
But-
built on over their garage, and it's massive on Kimberly, you see it when you drive in, on Kimberly.
Because my idea is like, you pick a number, whether it's 3,400 or whatever, and if you're above that threshold,
An extra $100.
you pay more.
And maybe,
Or
And
even
you
make,
know what, if that number represents a sufficient minority of the residents, everybody will vote for it.
like the wealth in the United States.
Exactly,
99%.
this is 99% versus the 1% or whatever, I don't know
Take a
where that
step
comes
to
in.
that, what if we did it
But
just
then,
tear
when the
down?
tear downs start coming through,
$5,000 tear down fee. Okay.
I mean, we could put that into,
And everybody in this neighborhood would vote that, and that's money in the bank later on, and that's okay.
Tear
I never
down.
thought about it, tear down fee.
That's really good.
You know, I mean, you know, there's clearly, you know, our transfer fees are very
Although-
low. I mean, our transfer fee is only
we just raised them, didn't we?
50, we raise it to 100.
Although, actually, take
Yeah.
a step back though, on the tear downs. You're gonna tear down the lower value houses, replace them with higher value houses. Do we wanna discourage that?
No, we don't.
No, we don't want to discourage it.
It's just part
But
of.
they're gonna
But
do it
also, all right,
It's just part of
We
the,
wanna make it nominal enough for it's not gonna stop me from doing it,
We're just
but
gonna take our cut.
yeah, we'll own a piece of the action.
Because there's actually a couple that lives in our neighborhood, 3 or 4 streets down. We've talked to them, I haven't talked to them since last year, but they're walking the streets and they're looking, they live here, they've lived here for 12 years, and they're looking for the cheapest house for sale in the neighborhood, because they wanna,
investment properties, right?
they wanna tear down and build, they wanna stay in the neighborhood, but they wanna tear
You're
down.
looking at the
Yeah,
corner
it's-
house
it's-
in Memorial,
Yeah,
there's some real prizes over there.
No, there's that house on Kimberly.
yeah, I
Sell
think that,
properties,
yeah.
so.
So the house on Turkey.
I think they're looking for a couple, something.
No, it's
like
one
that.
Perthshire, the corner at Perthshire.
my house is always available for sale,
Yeah,
and that cost is negotiable.
Price is
So
right.
if my wife is watching,
All right, all right.
you know, so,
So it'll be interesting though, so I guess with that though, so we've got a wish tree list. You know, what do we do, what are the next steps to get folks in the neighborhood involved to come up with the
It's the
3,
next town
5,
hall.
10-year
It's the
plan?
next town hall. I think what we need to do is we need to take the ideas we're talking about here,
Recap them.
okay, recap them and make those, you know, sum all that up, but just use that as the basis for a town hall meeting, and just like we did for before the annual meeting,
Yeah.
make it the community's decision, you know,
Absolutely.
let them weigh in
Right.
on which ideas they do like, which ideas they don't like.
Of how to raise the cap or things we're doing.
Don't say raise the cap.
I think,
Remove the cap?
Right.
I think this is 2 separate steps. I think
Yeah.
one, it's what do you want in the neighborhood, how do you want to improve the neighborhood? Then the next
Right, I
logical
think we
step
know
is how do you
that.
pick.
I think we have a pretty good
Yeah, we do.
grip on that. It's now it's time to talk about what are we because you know what, I mean, before we start getting signatures, we have to have the legal,
Right.
you know,
It's gotta be
language.
written, right.
Mark's gotta write it up, and what's gonna go into Article 7.1 and blah, blah, blah.
Hey, here's just an idea, what it might be easier to sell, and again, it's just theorizing, especially some of the older ones that are on their fixed income. And it wouldn't be a great short term, but in the long term, it would be better, is sell it as a 5% increase over 10 years, every year. It goes up 5%.
No, we like the index, I think.
The
that's
index
so
gives you
good.
more validity.
All right.
over it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Because there could be potentially some years where there would not be an increase.
Oh.
It's not likely that there would be a
But if it
decrease.
jumps because the price of gas doubles.
But here
we
again,
follow.
that's what I'm talking about, does it make more sense to have 5% or an index? Let the community decide.
Oh, you
Let
want
the
the
community
town
decide.
hall to be about how we find that
Exactly,
money.
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah,
What,
that's something
exactly,
else.
because you know what? I mean, what Brad tried to,
He wanted to introduce I think it was about an 8 to 10 year plan, and it was a graduated increase, which
Right.
it was a great idea, and there was an incentive. So if you met, you know, if you were retired, or you were X age, or you've been here X amount of time, you were grandfathered at this particular fee. And then, so it would go from, and my numbers might be wrong, you know, so instead of $495, you know, for someone like me, it would go to $550. And then the following year, it would go to $575, then $600. It was graduated, and it'd go up so that people could prepare for it.
Right.
And then obviously at the end of that 8 or 10 year period, you would essentially be at about $800, which, you know, $800 is probably not unreasonable given what we have to offer
Could
in
offer.
terms of
Give
facilities.
everybody used
Right,
to the
absolutely.
temperature of the water.
Right, absolutely. You know, that's true, and so you,
And the older ones are like, oh, we may not even be around.
But the
Ten-
point,
10
my
years,
point
yeah.
is though, and that would be is, you're still using trash and security, that's 1 and 2, that's
Yeah.
65% of our budget.
right. You know, people might ask, what are you gonna do with the extra money? Well, we need to establish, you know, a financial footing first and foremost, because we don't have that.
reserves.
We are one good disaster away from being broke. You know, and we're insured for a ton of stuff, and all that good stuff.
You're not insured of it, but going bankrupt.
I mean, kind of let them know that,
Um,
you know, we are the last kind of West Memorial neighborhood there is. I mean, West Side, you're still in Spring Branch.
right.
You know, we're kind of,
Half of us are.
Yeah,
Right. but let's say,
Yeah.
we're one of the last ones,
Yeah.
and, you know, they're not building anymore. You
No.
know, you know,
There's not any
and
new
it's
buildings.
just, the potential, it's almost like we'd have to work hard for us to ruin a neighborhood. But you
Yeah.
very well.
We
if don't do
really,
this.
actually, John, we wouldn't have to work hard at all, because I really think if we discontinue trash service,
Oh,
I think our neighborhood takes a step backwards.
oh, yeah.
Or security, either one.
Oh, yeah.
Either.
Or we let the pool slide, or
Yeah.
we,
Oh,
I mean,
I
I
agree.
really,
Or
There-
we
You
don't
know,
keep the air conditioning and heating running in the building.
right, sterno cans.
that's right, so, I mean, I think I don't think we're that far away from being,
No.
from doing some
right,
things in the
so we
neighborhood.
all know
We
that, so
gotta
getting back to
invest
next
or we
steps.
lose.
Right, so obviously,
Maintain
we have
investment.
that plan of, you know, getting our financial
So
footing,
we're
and then,
gonna
So,
have a
so
town hall meeting
this
about
is the
how.
focus of the next town hall.
right, absolutely, it's strictly about
how to get
improving our improving our revenue stream. It's that simple.
Improving our financial footing.
You know, expenses are probably as low as they can get.
Mhm.
I mean, I just,
I think you've made a real good case, but we gotta squeeze this.
I think so. I mean,
Yeah,
it's, you know, I don't know how the people at Texas Tropical Plants are gonna make money doing everything that they're gonna do.
And the garbage truck, you know, my husband was so impressed that they came back after the flood waters went down.
Yeah.
And they cleaned up the streets.
They do a good.
They cleaned up the streets.
I didn't see
They,
that.
they at least cleaned up my street.
I can't see over my shrubbery, I
Yeah.
can see the truck go by.
So, okay, and then obviously I think the third thing in terms of our long-term planning, is the growth of Thornwood. You know, clearly, from a real estate standpoint, you know, we can't build any more houses, we don't have any more property and stuff like that. So what is growth of Thornwood? Is it a bigger?
We have 3 more lots over
Yeah, well, we'll talk about Thornwood 5 in a minute. You know, is it really, is it a revamped clubhouse? Maybe it's a new, better, improved pool house over at Thorn Branch. Maybe it's better, nicer, more furniture. Maybe
Shirley wants
it's,
a clubhouse for her side.
I want a clubhouse on my side.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I fully will intend to have us look at it this year.
Just saying that needs to be on
Yeah,
the list.
absolutely it is. I think I wrote it down on the list as a
there.
matter of fact.
My neighbor's house.
I think you could just build an L kind of all the way around it. You know, you may have to take out some trees, but
No, there's room on the lot.
And can we build up closer to the street?
sure,
In one direction at least, so.
Yeah.
you could build out closer to the street
No,
both
setback.
directions.
That fence line is right even with
Yeah,
our neighbor's fence, that's the setback.
Oh, right, yeah, oh, for Tom but yeah, I bet we could probably get some exceptions to that if we wanted to. Not without making it look bad.
We could grant it.
Yeah, you don't want it to look bad,
We
but
could take a couple feet.
But even 5 more feet over the whole length would give you a lot more room.
right, absolutely.
Just move it back.
You have the
5 feet.
availability to go up, and I think it'd be great to have an improved pool house. I don't think we could have a true traditional clubhouse there, because you don't have space for that,
Right.
but an improved pool
Well,
house
you could
would be.
replace what's there,
Yeah.
capture that space.
And I think
use it.
if, as part of growth, is obviously attracting younger families who wanna come in here. Because I think if we did some things over the next couple of years, maybe we could get back to having some lifeguards, you know, so where people can swim year-round or throughout the summer, a little bit easier, if you will. I don't know if lifeguards make people come more or less, I have no idea.
And then you just send your kids. so
You
yeah.
just, right, you can just send your kids, that's
Yeah,
really.
that's the nice thing, is you can send them on down, because you know the lifeguard's there.
So, you know, so we have to, you know, growth is clearly not about building, but it's about attracting families,
You
there's
know,
no question about
maybe it'd be
that.
a good model, and I forget, is it Memorial Plaza? Right over there behind Town and Country, between like Memorial Middle School. They've got that school on the corner, I think it's Kimberly Street is where their pool is.
Oh, right there, about Fawn
It
Villas.
must be Fonville's.
Yeah,
Yeah, Fonville's. They've got signs out right now, they're having a big party for the 50th anniversary of Fonville's. But in the summer there, where they've got their pool, they were having movie night, 2 nights.
sponsored by companies.
Right,
People who live in the neighborhood, their companies were sponsoring the movie night Thursday nights, Saturday nights, I think.
right. And they've got a bigger area, so they have picnics and such.
Absolutely, and I
Really
think,
free advertising.
and those are some things that we can do as well. It takes some people to take that on and do that, so to speak, you know, volunteers. And I think if you start to have nicer facilities, enough more people will be willing to take some stuff on and do that.
How are the neighbors that are abutting Thorn Branch Pool? Do we ever get complaints or issues from them?
No, Tom is easy, and Trish is right there on the corner, so I think.
All right, I was just wondering because,
We went down and cut a bunch of stuff out of Trish's tree.
okay,
She's like, do whatever you want, I don't care.
Well, remember that there's no parking there,
right.
so it's not like
You can't alleviate that, you'll never be able to alleviate
No,
that.
but what I'm saying is
Yeah.
that it doesn't attract parking lot problems. There are no
Right, right.
parking.
Oh, yeah.
And most people would go there for events, we just walk down
Yeah,
there.
ride the bike.
Yeah,
Ride a bike.
I'm just saying that I know that anybody who lives next to a parking lot has a problem.
Right.
oh, sure.
But living next to a swimming pool doesn't seem to be near as much of a problem.
I was gonna say for like evening events, like the
A movie night.
movie or something like that. If we had somebody we knew was an issue, then we might wanna not do that, but if we haven't had problems yet,
Never had any
That's
problems.
fine.
You know, the
That's good.
traditional solution is just to invite them.
yeah,
Um,
good, good.
and so, you know,
We
establishing
love that.
what, you know, the definition of growth is,
That's your wish.
which goes back to Thornwood 5. Did you ever talk to your,
I never heard, yeah. So
sister-in-law? brother-in-law, cousin?
Cousin of Cece's, yeah, so I need to find someone else to
You're
chase
talking
that.
about Thornwood 5 over here or
Yeah.
over there?
Are we talking about my park, or are we talking about acquiring new land?
We're not talking about buying land.
We're talking about chopping up the park?
No, it was just,
No,
it's
it's
just
crazy
purely,
idea.
it's crazy idea.
Actually, there's no room.
Yeah, I don't
When you
think
look
so
at the
either.
space,
But,
there's no room.
but I think that raised the point, I was over there looking at it when I dropped, a bunch of mold stuff off. What was her name, what's her name?
Catherine.
Catherine. I mean, we do need to come up with a plan for that though, it's certainly
No, I
not
mean, if we could
utilized.
build our reserves up to $1 million, then, you know, we could go and buy a piece of Memorial Muse and start Thornwood 5.
Memorial Muse, the condos down there?
Yeah,
Are they for sale?
they're on the market all the time.
I had no idea.
Start snatching them up,
One at a time.
you know?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
We can,
No, I thought you meant
we can
that.
leverage our existing property.
Cause what are we next to? We're
Exactly.
next
You
to-
could, you could leverage this piece of property, you could leverage the pool over there, you can leverage that piece of land with the
Exactly.
bank.
Once you're done leveraging this one,
Mhm.
okay, because this is right on Memorial. This is a freaking gold mine.
Oh, there's a ton of people who'd love to have
You
this piece
kidding
of
me?
property.
If you could,
Well, it's
if
the
you sold
main office buildings.
this, okay, in the park, and some investor was be able to buy out that little shopping center, that stupid little Remax office building or whatever it is, they could, you know, put up
They'd have
Eldridge
Five
McDermott.
more
Place,
towers.
Eldridge Place 4,
Yeah.
you know? And,
Get those townhomes, put a pool,
and
bunch
then
of
the
them,
townhomes,
be right against.
Be our
the-
pool and our
you
clubhouse.
have lots for some McMansions that are right on the freaking park, and then you take their clubhouse and pool, and they have tennis court.
How
Wow.
do we finance Thornwood 5? We don't
That's
have,
not, that's not our job.
yeah, we don't have that much capital.
Our
Well, I
job
mean,
is, our job is
that's
garbage.
the long term,
Yeah.
but you know, 20 years, don't think it shouldn't happen. I mean, think about all the changes that are gonna happen, you know?
What do you think a piece of property like that's worth, Mike?
Which one, that one?
Yeah.
Memorial Muse?
No,
I mean, you think it's a $10 million piece of property?
no,
You're talking
no.
about
It's-
I mean,
it's-
I don't know.
The park and the pool?
If I had to guess the
I don't know
park,
what he's asking.
like right as it stands, I would guess 500,000, 600,000.
No, but that whole like Memorial Muse complex, that
It's
whole,
not one property though, it's condos.
they're,
You gotta look,
That's the challenge.
they're individually
and
owned?
it's,
Like
They're-
townhomes.
They're,
Oh, okay.
they're individually owned quadruplexes.
Gotcha.
yeah, so you gotta look at the cash flow.
They
Oh,
go
four
80
bucks.
to 100 each, or 80
I think so.
I've seen them between 100 and 200,
I,
Oh, really?
yeah, I would guess
depending on the condition.
the location is magnificent.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fine piece of real estate, there's no doubt about that. And the
That's why
park
they
is
sold
only
it
continuing to
times.
improve, and it's a mere matter of time
Park's
before
great.
that former Transocean property gets leveled and built on.
So it's gonna be a tower, I heard.
Every time I bike
It's
past it,
gonna be like a
why
20 to
is
30
this
story tower.
No surprise,
Yeah.
the corridor needs it, and, you know, Shell, BP, or Conoco, somebody will.
I'm
put their
surprised
name
some
on
of
it.
these apartments on Memorial over by the Mac, behind those could be a great.
That's-
Those are individually owned also.
Yeah.
The town.
But all
Yeah.
of those,
And
even
that's
the
what we
apartments,
were just
all
talking
that
about, that
Sheffield.
they're dumping some money into them, so,
Yeah,
the ones close.
Yeah.
right, so someone bought that and is bringing it up to code at least, I don't know how far they're
But
taking.
they're not, you know, they're outside of the energy corridor.
Yeah.
And the thing is that people who buy in there tend to be buying into Spring Branch.
Right, exactly.
And a lot of times they're renting it out to people who were just gonna be there 4 years to get their
Mhm.
kids through high school and they're gone to go.
Short term, yeah, okay. So yeah, clearly, a lot of things for growth, and then more importantly, you know, we definitely need to have a completion date for this document, and, you know, I think it's something that we would wanna have available at the annual meeting, or by end of year, for sure, but, you know, I do think we need to try to, you know, have a completion date, so we just don't have this pie in the sky idea, we talk about putting this plan together, I think we need to have a completion date of when we wanna try to have at least a draft, or,
I think the summer town hall meeting, you know, kind of the 75%, this is where it's headed.
yeah, because obviously the finishing touches of would be the difficult piece of it, and that's, you know, I can tell you, that was probably one of the hardest things for me when I joined the board, is knowing where they left off. I mean, we spent a couple hours with Bruce, and he was very, very helpful in giving us some stuff, but it's baptism by fire. You know, it's
Start over from scratch.
right, absolutely, and so if we could prevent future boards from having to start over,
Plan would be nice.
you know,
It's not even a plan, it's a vision.
Absolutely.
You know, it's a plan
Higher level,
implies
right.
that you're gonna implement it A, B, C, you know, this is more like, a vision,
Okay.
you know, a set of ideas.
I think vision is a good word, Bob. Vision's a
And I
good word.
think the next point of the tree dedication Arbor Day is a good example of a vision.
Yeah, when is Arbor Day? Isn't it coming up soon?
In Houston, it's different. National Arbor Day is March, April, but because we're warm here, the city of Houston does their Arbor Day in
January.
late January, actually, yeah.
That's what I thought when I put it down. I'm like, I think Arbor Day's coming close.
So, yeah, so the Houston one's coming very quickly.
Okay. But, you know, so clearly goes into the common areas. You know, we do want Texas tropical plants at some point to come out, you know, so we can at least meet and greet, know, and kind of do some stuff there. But I do think we should try to do a tree dedication. And again, we would do this in sections A and B.
Let me ask you this, do we have a lot of people that lost trees in our neighborhood from the drought?
I have heard people
Yeah.
mention that they lost trees.
So I wonder if Texas Tropical, you know, it's kind of a fun event for Arbor Day. We have, around this event, what if we have them bring in some trees and sell them at wholesale prices? Bring a trailer of trees. and
That's
just have
something
them
they
go.
do, trees.
I'm sure you can get them, you can get anything. I heard they were selling Christmas trees this year.
Anything to make a buck.
Well, he
But-
has them for his corporate accounts.
Yeah.
He had leftovers from that.
So you need to get rid of them.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's something they're willing to do, I'm all for it. You know, I have a problem with that. I don't know how many people lost trees, but, you know, I do think that if nothing else that occurred from October to, you know, or let's say September through November and even into December, we learned that there are a lot of people put in a lot of volunteer hours. And I think the neighborhood, the community kind of owes these folks something. And I think if we could have a tree, and maybe a nice little plaque that goes, you know, recognizes, we can't list everybody by name because we don't know all their names and stuff like that, but that symbolizes the community as a whole and the volunteers and the dedication they put into it. You know, I think that gets us going in the right direction for a number of things, for new growth. And that's really what we need for. We need new growth.
We picked 3 or 4 places that need trees across the whole neighborhood.
Yeah, and I know nothing about trees, but clearly it's got to be something that will flourish, last long term.
Native.
Got to be somewhat native because, you know, it could be hot as hell in Houston on any given day.
Well, climate change, it's gonna be tough to find anything that, you know, is native in 10 years.
You know, okay, gloom and doom over there. You know, day after tomorrow over here.
Yeah, you know, we might as well just give up because the whole world's coming to an end, right?
I'm reducing my carbon footprint. I'm riding my bike around the neighborhood, or I'm walking places. Jackson and I rode our bike to the Mac the other day. We didn't drive a car.
Isn't that cool?
I do that
You know,
when I go to the Metro.
yeah. So I'm reducing my carbon footprint. Or, as someone told me, I'm not increasing my carbon footprint.
The house is a hell of a footprint.
Arbor Day, Texas, is
So-
the last February in April,
You can't say the last February in April, that makes
Try
no
that
sense at
again.
all.
the last Friday in April.
Okay.
And our state trees, the pecans.
No, that's Texas. Look at Houston Arbor Day.
Houston has its own Arbor Day?
Yes,
Yeah,
City
that's
of
what Mike was
Houston
saying.
has its own event.
You were
Well,
not-
because, you know, Lubbock and Houston have different climates.
Okay, yeah, we don't care about Lubbock.
It's just, I see it.
Last year, it was in January. Remember when they planted the 5,000 trees or whatever? It was that cold weekend.
Which day is the Arbor Day?
January 28th.
Anyway.
All right.
Oh, that's
We're
his
not
birthday.
going to make January
But
28th.
we can do something. We can make our
I
own.
think we do something February, March, spring break,
You know, it doesn't
whatever.
have to be over
Spring.
there.
I just,
Because well, the whole purpose is
Yeah.
when the weather changes, the tree sap starts flowing. So you want to do it while the trees are still dormant.
And that
Okay.
means pretty much January,
Okay.
mid-February.
Maybe February.
First weekend of February, maybe?
Alright, so who's leading that up?
I think that's,
About trees.
well, Will's not here. So you're gonna be in charge.
I'll do that.
I thought we would stick Will.
When does Green Bank do their big tree sale?
I've done it, but this year I haven't heard, we've gotten stuff from the El Paso Foundation, but El Paso's being bought right now, and so I think that's kind of going to the wayside.
Okay.
So I haven't chased that down. And then I don't like the folks at Trees for Houston.
There you have it. Okay, all right, so that is something,
But you said you were gonna find some trees?
Yeah, I'll look for some trees.
and I think these need to be some fair, the trees that we plant, I think need to be fairly large, you know, that, not, I don't think we need 20 sapling,
No,
but
the
if we-
trees that we were selling for $10 a piece for 6 to 8 foot trees. That's a great deal.
how much is a 6 to 8 foot tree?
If you go over to Cornelius, it's like $150. If you get them donated by the growers, so they'll say, we'll figure it out.
Okay, but it's something I want people to notice, obviously, and we'll kind of figure out some things to go with that. Then we just need to kind of figure out a place to locate them.
And then, yeah,
Where everybody would see.
plant them.
You know, I think finding a place in 1 and 4 wouldn't be difficult. Where would we want to plant them in 2 and 3 where people could see them?
We got the
No one
embankment,
sees them at
for
the
sure.
park, but we could,
Well-
Is this a precursor to our muse entrance?
Fine.
I don't think
Put a
it's-
couple trees in there, and then we'll put the monument up there.
I don't know if there's room for
It's
I don't know.
right there, I mean, it's
on
basically,
somebody's personal property.
yeah, and you know what, the space you have is basically between somebody's driveway, and there's like 3 feet,
Yeah.
and that's all you have.
Yeah, it is.
You don't even have enough room to plant a tree hardly to build a monument.
You can put a shrub, but not a tree.
Anything along Memorial that's not gonna be in the wrecking hall path?
no,
No,
no.
no, there's not.
Well, maybe right
Wait,
here.
you're looking for something over here though, right?
But where we,
What about that dead spot with the stick in the middle?
what about that dead spot? Let's take a look.
That's that's the one I'd also like to know.
Yeah, I can understand it.
What about entrances on either side of the entrance to the parking lot?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, those crappy crepe myrtles could be taken out, yeah, because they're crappy.
You guys decide.
That's it, I think that's it right there. Okay.
None of us live on the, no, you live over here,
Yes, I do.
but you seem to be carrying one of us to decide, but you don't live over.
Here's a thought.
Let's
Do we have any unattended
Fine.
space
But you see it all
along
the time, so you know what
Eldridge
it's look like.
Yeah.
where we've got the crappy fence?
Doc and I walked down there a couple weeks ago to look at the AT&T cable that's just thrown across the fence. And I would say no, there's
Or
not,
like-
but you know, there is that one kind of natural land that Bank of America has.
Is it ours or theirs?
I bet they'd be willing to let us do
What
something.
about this? This like at the end of Bob Street where it's just, kind of curves around the dead ends of Eldridge. Is there something a little more artistic we could add there? Pull out some of the pickets, put some wrought iron in, curved wrought iron with 2 big trees to kind of,
What's the end of your street look like?
Right now, it's a wood fence.
So is there something we could do to that, just to dress it up along
I don't
Eldridge
think we
too?
would wanna make it,
The privacy
I don't
issue.
think people would like it if it were more open to Eldridge, especially, because right now,
I
the
guess
fence
noise.
also blocks the noise a little bit.
Right.
Because you got all the traffic.
Okay.
Figure out what to
And on the other side of that fence, that's actually, a little city parcel, we don't own that.
Well, what I'm saying is like,
So we don't actually own up to.
there's a flat fence, what if we're then even replace the fence with, 2 cutouts or something, with a tree in the middle of it? Or I don't know, just some sort of,
Maybe, there's
Think we're better off
other
with the pool
issues
here.
with the fence down there
Let's go with the pool.
that, I don't know if we have on the agenda, but.
All right, okay, I think we're good. So
I'll
Mike's
look,
gonna,
let me see what I can do for finding trees.
Mike's gonna find some trees,
Let me just find the trees
let's
first.
find some trees. Big, large, nice trees that, don't require our truck
Right,
to dig a hole.
right. I've got a lot of shrubs.
Todd's not digging this.
I've got a lot of shrubs.
You can dig part of the hole, can't dig the whole hole.
Right, a keg of beer.
There you go. Okay, so, and, I'll look at the calendar for a date and kind of circulate that amongst everybody as well. So newsletter, oh,
And this is probably the whole. You can't work for us. So who are you recognizing?
I think it's just,
Volunteers.
volunteers, I think it's just volunteers in general. Now, could we assemble a list of names of people who volunteered? I think the answer is yes, we could, and there's nothing wrong with reading all those names out.
But
Whether
on the
they're-
plaque, it's just gonna say.
Yeah, I think on the monument or whatever, the plaque that we put in there, it's just a very general description that these trees are in honor of those who served the community, before, during, and after.
Is there, let me ask you, there's another thing else, I'll let that in. When you go in, the entrance by the cemetery, how much room is between the cemetery fence and the street? Is there room to put a row of trees there?
No, that's just an open ditch,
It's not ours either.
yeah.
No, he's talking about once you come down, once you turn onto the street.
Once you turn.
Right there on the
Across
left-hand side.
On the left, on La
Yeah.
Costa.
That could actually, that could even be a
That's actually
fundraiser.
a pretty wide, grassy area. We don't own it, it's city right of way.
Wouldn't be a problem with planting it though.
Do we
But
mow it?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
mow it, maintain it.
We mow it and maintain it.
We put decorations up
That
there.
even could be a sponsor, donate a tree there too. For somebody.
You could put in several trees there.
Oh, yeah.
Put one
Have
every
a nice
10
row of
feet.
trees, that would be nice.
It would be
'Cause
beautiful.
that big white wall looks like shit.
Well,
You know, it's just a big, white, ugly wall.
it's, people are dying to get in, so you have to put up a wall.
She's
My
two-
dad loves that joke.
She's got two now.
My dad loves that joke.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
Too
a,
bad I can't remember the.
That actually could be a fundraiser.
You water down the drain. That was so bad it made my teeth itch.
So that made my teeth itch.
okay, all right, that's a good one there. Okay, so newsletter, Bob, what's our deadline to you?
Deadline to me, Wednesday.
As in 2 days, okay.
Yes.
He sent out the memo.
Thanks, Bob.
You're welcome.
I didn't get
Got
that
it,
memo.
I'm good.
Are
Okay,
you getting the blasts?
I haven't gotten anything in a long time.
is our blast not working?
Oh,
No, the
so
blast
sweet.
is working.
Is it me?
Yeah, it's you.
Probably
Wow,
not.
how's your email in your list?
Okay. Is anything concerning the website that we need to do, update? Oh, I know what I want to ask you. So, I need Jessica's gonna be mailing out our invoices for recycling for 2012.
Uh-huh.
And if they pay via the website. I know we talked about being able to create a button that would allow them to put in a dollar amount as opposed to have a button for a specified dollar amount.
Oh, yeah, well, I haven't gotten to that yet.
Okay, then we're not gonna worry about it.
All right.
If they go to the website, they'll have to pay the full $60,
Right.
and then we'll just be done with it. Or,
Is it $60 again?
Yeah.
Okay.
okay, all right, that takes care of that. Anything else for the big website that we think would,
For that, we need to make some signs and put it out too.
about
Kind of rah-rah.
recycling?
I think it really is doing well.
no one's, I think, we'll blast out a message that, be looking for your invoice in the mail in the coming week. By the way, if you'd like to sign up new, come get, because I delivered a bin, to somebody that moved in this past summer, just a couple weeks ago. And, I don't know how they found out about it, mostly word of mouth.
Well, they see somebody else's bin out.
Right. But people who want to recycle are going to get involved in the program because they'll see the bins. People who don't really care just aren't going to do it, I think.
And maybe I would like to announce, you said that they were able to extend the green waste recycling.
Yes, absolutely. And so
That's
so
the
at the very
exception
least in
line item.
2012, we will extend it through November at the very least because it's minimal impact. It was pennies.
Right.
This year has been an exceptional rule. We could have had year-round green waste recycling. I mean, we got bags of leaves.
Because I know this year when it ended, it was like the weekend.
It's like
My
the
neighbor
weekend.
across the street, he pulled out like 15 bags from his backyard and that
Yeah.
all went to landfill.
So we'll take it through November for sure. We almost could do it year-round. I mean, we almost really could.
For $1 or $2, I'd say do it.
Okay, we'll look at it through year-round.
So March through November?
No, it would be year-round, 12
No, what
months.
is it now?
Yeah, it's March to October, but we'll extend it to November. And he gave me the numbers
This
for
is
year-round.
perfect last weekend for
Yeah. Okay, cool. And so one of the things that I think we had talked about, and kind of leading up to December, is trying to do something for Super Bowl. Super Bowl is Sunday, February 5th, and if I'm not mistaken, it's an afternoon kickoff. It's in Indianapolis. It's not like at 10 o'clock at night. It's a fairly decent hour.
And of course, the Texans are gonna be in it.
If the Texans are in it, that's a whole other scenario.
Doesn't matter, you're gonna get tickets.
It'll be the Texans v Broncos, right? So on the radio, as a matter of fact, somebody already apparently Tim Tebow threw for 316 yards this past week, and they're like, well, that's John 3:16.
Right, yeah, so
Okay, right.
I don't think Chronicle had it.
Did they? Okay, maybe that's where it came from. So are we interested in trying to do something for Super Bowl? Because the Super Bowl is going to be broadcast on the internet this year. So we've got the Wi-Fi, we just have to have the TVs brought in. be able to watch it.
Well, we got the projector, so we can.
Well, and that's it, we've got
project
the,
on.
yeah.
That whole chili cook-off, I mean, that could be actually pretty fun, too.
No, absolutely.
Have people starting at 8 o'clock in the morning cooking chili here, I mean.
Is
that
this a
could be good.
combination event, or is this two different?
No, it's one event. You have the chili cook-off in conjunction with the Super Bowl. And your chili judging, and I think if we do it, we'll have to try to hustle up, some celebrity judges of some sort.
Celebrity judges, that's us.
I'm sure we have a residence got a restaurant or something like that.
I mean, yeah, I think that'd be, but, I mean,
I nominate John, he'd be a good celebrity.
Like chili?
I mean, it's okay, but I can't tell the difference between bad chili and good chili.
It doesn't
Oh,
matter,
yes, you
it
can.
doesn't
It's
matter.
not-
You-
I mean-
but you have a silver tongue when it comes to describing any food.
Yes, but hot things, if it's like 2 steps above table pepper, it's too hot for me.
oh, you're done.
No, I'm working on it,
No
I've got
habanero chili for John.
I've got a graduated set of hot sauces I've been working on for the last 6 months. And my 10-year-old's passing by, he's like 4.
That's-
I'm up to like 65,000 on the Scoville scale, he's up to about 300,000.
Wow.
And
So
we
I,
both started at 0.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
okay, we can put that together. That's not terribly hard to do.
Just get it out early, though. So
Yeah,
before
absolutely.
people
Good,
make
yeah.
parties
We
and
gotta
such.
start getting
Get
out.
a newsletter.
Yeah, get in the
We'll get in the newsletter.
And, I mean, do we wanna have a prize, or
Oh,
what's the
absolutely.
hook here?
You know,
Well, let me ask you this, was it possible, thinking of Fawn Villas and their movie nights, is it possible to fund a big outdoor screen and some sort of projector?
We've got the projector. That's already easy. We just have to hook that up to
actually,
the laptop.
there's a monthly movie night already, at the, there's their name.
There's a couple of,
It's just a few doors down from me,
I don't know. The big blow-up screens, I think they're several $100s. I don't think they're cost prohibitive.
You know, where we had the Halloween place, that cul-de-sac, the Halloween party?
Yeah, over by the Duskin's house?
Yeah, I think about a month ago I drove by and
She
they,
does,
They
and
doesn't
they,
do
they,
it
they had,
for-
they
yeah.
had the big projection, they had the big blow-up screen and everything like that.
Okay, so we can ask the
she's
Duskin.
got a big enough of a projector, and
Yeah,
But we got the
'Cause I think
projector, we just probably need a screen.
because we probably scoot back 30 feet, because I mean, it does have a maximum size that projector will put out. I don't know if you happen to read that.
well, if it's during the day, and you're talking outside.
we get enough power here, we could run some extension cords and put TVs outside and
Extension
such.
cord, I mean, the thing is, the projector, if you're doing a screen outside during the day,
Right, you're gonna
You're
have
gonna
a
need
But we don't have that, that's what I'm saying, so could we put some TVs outside and a big
Right.
screen projector?
That's the thing. I called Aaron's Rents today, and they do rent TVs for Super Bowl, but it's a 4-month contract. I'm like, well, we don't need a TV for 4 months.
Well, you know, it's like the best day to buy a TV is the week after the Super Bowl, because people buy on and return.
Right, absolutely.
Wow.
So
Never thought of that.
I'm not pulling my TV out of my house. It's just not going to happen. And that's
You
the
know
thing.
what,
Who wants to pull their 40-inch, 50-inch TV out of their
I
house?
saw
and bring it
that,
to
like,
work?
Costco had big 54-inch TVs for $800.
You could buy 32-inch, you can buy 37-inch TVs for about $250. We could buy several of those.
Is that, and string them in a series, I mean, would that be able to put them on a pole outside?
I mean, we could, because we have talked about trying to bring in some sort of TVs into this room.
And that would be for kid movies.
More importantly, realize if we could tout this as a corporate meeting facility. If we
Mount it
started
up
putting
there.
in AV
You
pieces,
got webcam?
You realize that the
Yeah.
fireplace is non-functional, you could just.
Well, it's functional.
it functions. All you gotta do is just light it on.
Just gotta put some logs in
You
there.
get blown up.
Have we never had the chimney cleaned?
No, you have to take the bubble wrap out of the damper first.
Because it'll smell bad when it catches on fire.
Somebody damn the damper?
Yeah, I think they tried to,
Insulate.
it with bubble wrap.
I'm sure it did a perfectly
I don't
fine
think
job.
our value of bubble wrap is that great.
All right,
Is it-
kickoff is set for 5:25 Central Standard Time.
Well, that's dark.
So in February, that's a reasonable time. It'll finish up about 9 o'clock, 9:30 at the latest. So even if people had kids that they brought them over, they could be here at least through the first half.
And do we want to do bounce houses in the park and
I'd be all
try
for
to
it.
make a deal out of it?
I think we could definitely make it a very family-oriented
So
event,
when is
without
the
any
chili?
question.
Sunset would be about
I think you
5:55.
would do your chili cook-off before the Super Bowl, because there are a lot of people who will need to go home for whatever reason to do things. So you could, you have your judging at 4 o'clock, whatever, so.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing about the Super Bowl is.
The gates will open at 8 a.m.
Whatever, but,
Yeah.
The pregame
the
starts like.
pregame
5 a.m.
coverage,
January, right?
everything starts like,
Yeah.
all
12
day.
hours before.
It starts the moment the second team wins their championship. That's when Super Bowl coverage starts. The moment the second team wins.
So
So
it's gonna be a potluck with a row of chili.
yeah, I
You
mean,
know, people bring salads, brownies. And
yeah, I
stuff.
think we would ask people like, hey, look, we're gonna have a chili cook-off. You need to be able to have your chili serve 20 people. That wouldn't be expensive to make chili for 20 people. I mean, you're talking less than 10 pounds of ground beef.
I think that's more than you need.
We can just, I mean, it can be potluck too. We're not interested in trying to feed the 5,000
No,
by any means,
no.
right? We can say, like, hey, we can have people, we'll bring sides automatically. Because typically with chili, you don't need sides. You got chili and cornbread,
I have seen,
Fritos.
Fritos.
I've seen a chili cook-off,
Yeah.
and most people brought a
A
crock
crock
pot.
pot, yeah.
But that's a lot less than 10 pounds. Of
Well, whatever it is. I mean, we don't have to put a
2 pounds.
requirements on it, but,
I do it, let's do it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
do it.
Alright, super neighborhood,
I missed the last one, so, don't know.
security,
I think we all got that update.
yeah, do we need to say something for posterity?
We got the security summary. I got just the other day from Deputy Ford. I think I got it Sunday. So we'll be posting that to the website.
Okay.
And
Security
there'll be
It's been pretty quiet.
Yeah, by and large, we've got no reported incidents within the neighborhood,
Except for one.
with the
Talking
exception of
about,
what happened at Turkey Creek.
Your buddy with the Mustang?
Yeah,
The kid?
Yeah, I had to call the police on him the other day. Cause he went, I was just
He's
turning.
got the big pipes and,
Right, I was actually
I love
turning,
that car.
yeah.
this was like right.
He and Wayne are on first name basis.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I talked, Wayne came to my house, like, I
Not in a
talked to
good
him.
way.
Yeah, but he's a good kid. He's just, and Wayne's telling him, you just gotta slow down.
Yeah, I mean, he took off from the Jack in the Box to Pine Sap at about 45 miles an hour, and then of course, slowed down the brake at Pine Sap, and then
Okay.
took off again on the left side of the road, right in the mid, just.
Yeah.
Was he
And,
sliding?
no, and then, so I followed him, when he pulled in, I just said, is that necessary? Well, I didn't go over 20 miles an hour, I just got a loud car. I'm like, no, you don't, I was right behind you when you took
Yeah.
off. And I said, if he would have been cool and said, I apologize, but he got real belligerent.
Yeah.
And so I said, you've had the constable called on you before. Yeah, I know. Well, you're gonna get another one.
Yeah.
And I called on my way back to my house, and within 5 minutes of getting back to my house, Wayne showed up. And as I was talking to Wayne, he came by again and stopped at the light, kind of saw us out of his car and was like,
Yeah. He and Wayne, they've had a relationship for a couple years, ever since he had that car. And he's never had to pull him over for being stupid, other than just like, hey, you got a loud car, and so people are just gonna naturally think you're going fast, even if you're not. And he's spoken with the kid's parents, and he's a good kid. I mean, he's going to college, and he works and stuff like
Just
that.
fun with his loud
He
car.
just has fun with his loud car, and he doesn't realize that there are kids. And when you look at John Street, on any given day, there's eight or nine kids out there.
right. We used to have a problem with him going through that stop sign. We don't anymore. He comes to a stop sign,
All right,
but then it just takes off again.
Yeah,
And between stop signs, he'll go up to 40 miles, 45 miles an hour
yeah.
sometimes, and it'll just take right off.
There's actually, you can get a ticket just for that.
Right, I know, because it's
Yeah.
25 miles an hour.
Res is 30,
Or 30,
30 neighborhoods, unless
I mean,
it's
he goes fast.
posted, yeah.
But up until about this first year he had that car, he would just do a roll. He'd slow down to 15.
Okay,
Stop
You
sign.
know.
okay.
But now he does stop the last year, but, because I think he probably got a
Well, are
good
we
talking
gonna
to.
write an article about our other incident?
Want me to take it? I'll take the first stab at it and pass it to Bob.
Yeah,
Okay.
I gotta tell you guys, I'm like buried with work, so I don't really have time to write the whole newsletter.
No, I've got a list of things I wanna
No,
write
we don't
a
expect you to write
paragraph
the whole
about,
newsletter.
and you can pick and
Yeah.
choose. I'll throw it all
So I'll
at
do
you.
that, and I'll write something about Arbor Day.
Okay, good,
Okay.
And for the last newsletter, you didn't want my stuff too much, so.
right,
Okay.
yeah, no, that's good.
I mean, I think we'd be hard pressed to try to put something together between now and the end of January for an event like that. You know, I think February is the better time.
Yeah.
You know, okay, cool. And then, like I said, recycling invoices are gonna go out this week.
So back to the security thing, so, about the cameras, you're gonna take the lead on that?
I'm gonna talk to, I'll see Jason tomorrow at 11 o'clock.
Anything else around that we need to do?
You know, I mean, I think,
And I'm looking forward, I mean, we are gonna learn a lot, this first batch of cameras, we're gonna learn a bunch.
you know, my question to Jason is that, look, I'm hesitant to just jump out and buy X number of cameras. You know, is there a way that we can lease cameras, or borrow cameras, or use cameras, or something like that, you know? And I'm hoping that he's got a cost-effective solution for us that says, hey, yeah, absolutely, we can get this type of camera, we're gonna give you everything that you need, and let's go that route. You know, getting them installed, is not gonna be a problem.
I know we're gonna make some mistakes.
Absolutely. The biggest thing is that, number one, we gotta have Wi-Fi access, and we gotta have electricity.
But
And
that's,
as long as the residents are willing to give us that, we're good to go.
you may not get everybody on board, but I think you'll find somebody on every block.
You'll find plenty, I think you'll find more. I think there are more people in this neighborhood that have Wi-Fi than we probably really know.
Yeah, but they're gonna give you their password and stuff.
Yeah, that's fine.
They're not gonna give it to me, they're gonna give it to Jason, the professional installer.
Well, then if they got a problem with it, then fine.
Then we'll move somebody else.
We buy another wireless router for them for $50, who cares?
We could always do
That's a
that.
good point.
We, absolutely, there's a way around that. Because it's not gonna cost them any more to let us use their Wi-Fi.
That's right.
You know, if somebody's concerned about hacking, I get that, that's fine, you know, we'll figure that out later. So, okay, you know, I'd like to think that maybe we could have something in place middle of February, you know, that's 30 days.
I like it faster, I mean, I feel for this guy.
You know, I think that's probably about as fast as we could go without being rash.
Well,
And-
Jason can recommend some cameras, right?
Oh, absolutely, and we could probably get the cameras within a week and
Right.
get them installed. I mean, then you've got to get everything set up to go to the server to be able to store this,
But
you
that's,
know.
then you can do all that in a week, I'm sure.
Not as you can.
Bob will probably end up be doing
I
that.
mean,
But Jason could probably
Bob's
also
busy.
tell us some of that too, because, you know, because Bob, we've got plenty of drive space, you said, right? Anything and everything we want?
What, up on the website?
Yeah.
Not for video.
Well, this is snaps, right?
Well,
No,
we,
it's video, but basically, normally the way this is done is you, the video is local.
right,
It, all the video doesn't go up on the internet. You can access the server, but the server is local to the camera.
okay.
Oh, that's
So you're not sending,
Right,
video
you can access it and watch it, but yeah, it's not recording it.
It's recording it locally.
Locally.
It's got its own-
Monitored
It's a
it.
DVR.
Right.
It's a multi-channel DVR for, so that's like whenever you see one of these videos that's, on,
the 7-Eleven robbery.
yeah, the guy robbing the 7-Eleven, basically they've got the cameras, you see the cameras in the store, and in the back somewhere, they've just got one of these boxes. It's like a 4-channel or an 8-channel or whatever, DVR, it's got a 500 gig drive.
So the question I have here though is, as a, backside of the security committee meeting, we know there's a problem. Now we all certainly know there's a problem. I mean, what liability do we have? And I guess, I don't think we're obligated to do anything.
Well, I think we need to talk to the lawyer.
Oh, I think we're choosing to be involved. I don't think we're obligated.
We're not
I think we're
obligated.
choosing,
I
yeah.
mean, we are, you could read the charter of, the Board of the Thornwood Funding and all that, and basically our job is to spend the money that comes in. We're not responsible for,
Yeah, you're right, there's nothing,
you
no
know,
call outs.
dealing with lunatics or, really, I mean, already with what we do just in terms of, trying to get, with the swim team and the social functions and all that kind of stuff,
Right,
we're way
yeah.
above and beyond, right? So we're not, I don't think, we're certainly not legally bound.
What's the expectation?
Well, expectations,
Neighbors.
another story. I mean, expectation is that
Depends who you are.
well, that's true.
Where you live, right?
Where you live.
Or you can just phrase this and put it in as, this is our pilot project.
That's exactly what it is, it's a pilot project,
And this is,
absolutely.
we just happen, this will be a good place to choose.
Right, well, it's a controlled street,
Right.
and one in, one out.
So,
Absolutely, absolutely, so,
so any questions from that? It's our test.
you know, it goes back to, I mean, we can't make everybody happy.
Mhm.
You know, we're trying to make 80% of our people happy. If we can achieve that, I don't think that's bad.
80%,
We got
we
80%.
can remove the cap.
Would be better than the Senate.
We have it, we have it. Anything else?
I've heard nothing, kind of fallout from the,
I've never heard anything either, so that's a
Yeah.
done deal on my
That's
book.
done.
It's a done deal, and best of my,
Thank you
best
for
of,
your 18-point manifesto and invitation to sit around the kitchen table, because I think that's what finally neutral.
numerous invitations.
right,
Yeah,
yes, put up or shut up.
yeah,
Right.
so,
Um,
that works.
and I've not heard anything
I'm sorry.
third hand from
Just
anybody
your
either.
outpouring. Emotional thing.
Yeah. Yeah, so, it's a done deal. You know, I think the broadcasts of the meetings are going well. Got, you know, people talking
Do
about
anybody
that at the end of
watch
the
it?
year.
At 9:30 at night.
If anybody watching, it's probably Sicilian. Yeah, there's 2 current viewers and 7 total views.
That's
So
cool.
people
good.
check in.
Success.
It's good.
So
That's all we can ask for, you know, we can take them to the water.
I can see who Ross logged into, so I have this whole clue.
You know, one of the things that we'll have to start, thinking about, obviously, is, the pool. Rock on. One of the things that we'll have to start thinking about is we need to get the work done on the swimming pool over at Thorn Branch. You were gonna call your plumber? Or you have a
I
plumber?
can, yeah, they're great fun.
Yeah, okay. So let's get him teed
Well,
up.
all you want to do is pull those interior wall panels out, you can do his magic. And
I'm willing to do some of the work to minimize cost of demolition. That's easy to do.
I got a sawzall, yeah.
Yeah. So let's try to get him on the calendar for March.
What needs to be done
We gotta replace those toilets because they're too small.
there?
for-
Plus,
for
the
flushing.
plumbing behind the walls, when you turn it to hot, nothing happens, you turn it to middle, and you get cold water.
Because we don't have a hot water heater over there, and when they redid the work, they put in
Running
a
faucets.
dual faucet instead of a single faucet, for
Should
lack
just
of
be able to come out,
explanation.
single
So it's all gonna get done before May.
Absolutely, we want everything done really before April.
Plumber will tack it, he'll have that.
Right, and then the other thing is that, we need to be on the hunt for patio furniture sales, and identify some
Cecilia
patio
recommended
furniture.
Michelle, apparently she can really sniff out a bargain.
Michelle's on it, all right.
That's
So
what I was gonna give to Will, but he's not here.
Michelle is on it, so,
You know, we'll give to Will, and that means Michelle will do it.
okay, so we've got, some money to spend on patio furniture to try to, and, you know, we're trying to find that fine line between quantity and quality. Cause we don't wanna just buy one bistro set, that just
Right.
doesn't serve anything.
And it doesn't have to be like
But,
super fancy ornate, we want something.
We want
that's-
powder coating that holds
We
up,
want
it's not gonna rust
Right.
out.
powder coated, something that's gonna last, and
Yeah.
still look good in 5 or 10 years.
I don't think we want the crappy, you know, little individual mesh that you get at
Oh,
the hotels, the hotels and stuff like that. So,
Built stuff will last 10 years for hotels.
so that's good, that's definitely what we
I
want.
don't know. I mean,
Okay,
Well, Michelle figured it out.
so I get the sense Mike is done. I've got nothing else to offer, going once, going twice, adjourned. Very good.